What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and we got a super special video today. I have KK right next to me. Finally,
Hi.
we're in person. I'm visiting New York City, so we have to get together and do a video. So
Absolutely, finally. Long time coming. So we had everyone in the chat room submit questions for us that we'll answer today on this YouTube video, and they're great. A lot of insightful trading questions. So if you're a beginner trader, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of stuff for you to learn today.
yeah, it's going to be a really exciting video because you guys rarely ever get to see us together because, I pretty much live in California, but, I travel all over the place. KK lives in New York, so we live pretty far. So, when we try, we got to get a video together, we'll work together. But if you guys like to, learn more about the stock market, make sure you subscribe down below. We keep killing in the chat room. We can't help it. Best chat room out there. Make sure just click on all the links down below. Weekly newsletter. What else? We got our Instagram. Just click all the links. Thank you later.
Just smallplayers.com/programs. You'll get everything there. We have a crypto course, a day trading course. We sell our scanners. We sell our chat room access where we trade live every day. So you'll get to know us more. Okay, should we dive into these questions?
So yeah, let's start with some personal questions first. So some questions that people have about like myself, KK, the business in general, and then we'll get more into like technical questions because of the trading and that kind of stuff. So the first question that everybody always asks us is, how did you start trading? So KK, how did you start trading?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So I started trading while I was in college. It was just a way for me to make extra money and pay for school. And it was a little different back then because there was no commission brokers. So it was, every trade cost money. And when you start with a small account, it's very difficult. So it took me personally years to come to a point where I could be profitable and say that I could trade full time. So it was originally just like something to make extra money while in school. It was great because you could learn at night. You can open the on-demand functions on Thinkorswim and learn at night, and then try and trade during the day. So yeah, but it wasn't really anything big until years later for me.
So how many years have you been trading?
At this point now, I've been trading for 8 years. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I started myself was I think 2014. I was in like my senior year of high school at the time. And I always kind of was like, I was into like entrepreneurship and stuff, and like just way to like make money. So e-commerce, all that kind of stuff. So I got into trading. I wasn't very good at it, of course, and I was just going online on Reddit trying to find like random stocks, and I wasn't serious about it. In 2015, I joined the army, and then when I came back, I was gone for a bit because of the army. So then 2016, 17 is when I took it very serious. I was studying, developing as a trader, but I didn't probably become profitable until 2019. 2019 was really good, and then 2020 was just like a massive year for me, which I think a lot of people had a good 2020, yeah. And then 2021 has been even a better year and all that. So I've been trading for like 7 years, yeah. Since I was about 16, 17, it's when I started learning about it, but I wasn't serious till a year or two later, which a lot of people, that's kind of how it goes.
Well, I actually have a follow-up question. What kind of stocks did you start trading with?
Oh, it was just, it was probably like what everybody does nowadays, like, go to random chat room, like, hey, what's the next big thing, and like just random penny stocks, and like, and I had a buddy of mine that was into trading as well, and we'd sit in the back of the class and be like, this is the next big thing. I remember, at the time we had Robin when he was just first coming out, and like, it was even worse than what it is today, and then he had like $2,000, and he's like, dude, you gotta invest it. So then I was like, nah, I gotta do my own research. He invested it, came back the next day, he's like, dude, I lost it all. I think he had like some options or something. I don't know what he was doing, but that's how I got into trading.
Yeah, same thing. I started with penny stocks, and it was the same thing, like chat rooms, and then people. I think the biggest problem when you trade those is finding stocks to trade, which is why I always tell people the scanners that we have are so valuable because it took us a year to develop a scanner that can find the stocks to trade.
Yeah, I didn't know what
7,000 stocks out there, so if you're just trying to like pick and choose what to trade, it doesn't matter that the setups, that you're charting things on your chart. If no one else is looking at the setup, then it's not going to go up. You have to trade the stocks that everyone else is looking at, and it took so long to find where to find those.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was when I was like a beginner trader. It was like my number one question. I'm like, how the heck do people always know the stock that's like ran 100, 200, 300%?
Like,
I was like, how do they know? And I used to go like drive me crazy, and like, and then like now I know knowing what I know and having a scanner and like developing over years, fine tuning that stuff. Like I have a good watch list, and we put out a watch list every single day, even in our chat room. So all the members in our chat room, they don't even have to have the scanner. We post it in our
And we
chat
actually
room for
post that on YouTube every morning.
yeah, on the
yeah.
pre-market live stream, the KK does that. Like, if you're
Yeah.
not watching pre-market live stream, I don't know. I think you're just totally missing out. And I don't care that you're on the West Coast. I live in California. I get out at 4 or 5 2. So people always ask me like, "Oh yeah, but I'm in PST." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
me too." So don't complain. So if you get good at trading, get good at something, you gotta put in the time and effort.
So how long did it take to start trading full time?
I
We answered that a little bit.
Yeah, I guess we answered a little bit. It was like 2019. I was like, could be a full-time trader. I wasn't a full-time trader. I was still going to school. I was going to college and all that, and I was on my second year. I was going to my third year of college, and then I dropped out in the first semester of 2020, which would be my fifth semester in college or whatever. So I told my parents I was going to school. This is a true story. So I had signed up for college just to show my parents I was going to go to college, and I had my sister come with me on my first day to show her, like, oh look, I'm going to college. We're in college. It's my class, so that she could go home like, yeah, he's in college, because they were starting to have like doubts, like, like he's never studies or anything. Like, what's he doing? And they don't like trading. They didn't get it. They don't like it. All that. I had my sister come with me, so then I went to see him while he was in class, but I wasn't going to college at the time. I had just dropped out of it, and then eventually the semester later, I called them and I was like, I'm not going to college, and they were pissed with me for like.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was calling KK. I'm like, oh they're mad at me, and I'm like, I don't know why. I'm like, and then I showed them like, look, I'm making more money than you guys. I'm not trying to say anything, but they're like, yeah, but I don't know, they just don't get it, and a lot of parents, a lot of older people probably just don't get that. This new, like, you make money other ways rather than just going to college and finding a job.
And also something to know, we have a trader in the chat room that's been trading for 30 years, and he always says never to think of trading as your only source of income, because what ends up happening is it messes up your trades, because psychologically there's too much riding on it, and there are days when you're not supposed to take trades because the market's just not giving you setups, etc. So I feel like everyone in the trading world, anyone that's even famous on YouTube or whatever, always has something on the side. So some people in the chat room have they have franchises, real estate, businesses, or a secondary income at home or something. So it's great to have the flexibility to trade from anywhere and to not have to have a full-time job, but also always think in terms of having some sort of stable income that will make you a better trader, because you're not going to be having so much riding on trading.
Oh yeah, totally. I completely agree. The next question is, what is the future of small players in the next 2 to 3 years, or just I guess the future of small players? Like, what are your expectations of it? Like, do you have any goals in mind? Anything?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I feel like ever since we started Small Players, it's always just been like, what's the tomorrow? What's the next month? Whatever, and then we'll have like long term, but very long term. In the next 2 to 3 years, I definitely see us just definitely there's another question coming up about the options course, so pushing out the options course.
That's probably the next 3 months. It should be the next 2 months.
Potentially some NFT trading courses as well. So just getting, diving into different areas of the market that the students are interested in, growing our presence more on social media so we can help more students, so we can bring more awareness to trading responsibly, to trading with a plan. To educating. That's really, the main thing. When we first got started, we didn't have any grand plans. We just wanted to help the people around us. We were both trading in a chat room, and there were a lot of people that had questions, and we would see people trading the wrong way. So we literally would go to every single person, try and help them. And that's how Small Players became what it is. So our really long-term goal is always to just help as many people as we can, whichever way we can. So right now I think we're mostly focused on trading because the market's so hot, but maybe when the next bear market comes in, we can also help people, make income from home, from whether it's online businesses or real estate or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think at any time we'll have like a physical, like office location?
I think before COVID, maybe I would think that, but now I feel like everyone got rid of offices.
That's true.
And are we trading just to be free and be able to trade from anywhere?
No, you're right. But I always thought that in my head for some reason, I might have a headquarters. I don't know why, maybe because I'm just thinking we can have more employees or something,
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can put a basketball hoop in there. I don't.
Well, sure. Maybe we'll have little traveling headquarters everywhere. Yeah, this is the headquarters now.
Yeah, New York City is the headquarters. Probably next week you'll be back to I don't know. I think I'm going to California, but we put an offer for home in Florida, so I might have to go back to Florida to finish it up. I don't know. So with me, it's always I don't
He's
think
always all over the place.
I don't think I've stayed more than 2 months any like single location in the last year and a half. I really don't think.
No,
Like,
you
I'm
haven't.
thinking,
That's so
like, I
surprised
really
you're
don't
talking
think
about
so.
headquarters.
Well, no, no, but I'm not
New York.
gonna be there. But like maybe once we get big, we need employees or
Oh,
something.
sure,
And, like
yes.
I'll
Yeah,
come by.
that's
Like, what's up, guys? How's everything? And then keep going.
yeah,
Like
true.
that type of stuff. But
Yeah,
we'll
no.
see. We'll see. It's still
Yeah, definitely.
long ways to go.
That would be interesting.
So like now we'll get into more like the trading questions. There's a lot of people, have trading questions, and we can finally both answer them, so they can get both opinions of myself and KK. So what is more profitable, people think, options or stocks?
That's a tricky question. I would probably say options, just because you can make a lot more with a lot less.
Well, yeah, because with options you can have a 5% move, but your contracts move like 150%. And it's like, it's hard to find those stocks, unless you get like those big penny stock that run up massively. But also you gotta keep in mind, okay, options can be more profitable, but also what is more dangerous.
Yeah,
So it
I
kind of like
understand.
evens out in that way. It just comes out, I think, a lot to your trading style. Like maybe try both, like paper trade both first before because some people like the volatility of options, 20, 30, 50% gains, but easily you can be 20, 30, 40, 80% down just as easily. So, maybe some people like the volatility, they like options more. Some people don't like the volatility, they like something, smaller but like steady, and stocks might be better.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely. Yeah, it just depends on the risk tolerance, right? Options are in their nature a riskier asset. Well, derivative, and also it just comes, I think, from the way option contracts work, right? The option contract can move 10 times the move of the underlying stock, so by that logic you can make more, you can lose more. That said, there's in the penny stock world, in the small caps that we trade, there's a stock every day that runs 100%. But normally when there's 100% movement in the stock, you don't capture the whole move. You shouldn't. If you did, you probably got lucky, and you shouldn't do it ever again, because you don't buy all the way at the bottom and sell all the way on the top. You capture a move somewhere in between. You capture multiple moves. But if a stock moves 100%, you can maybe close the day with 60% gain on the trades. I wouldn't say you'd close it at 100.
Okay, guys, we took a quick break, and it got dark, but same day. So the next question was, how many losses or wins do you typically have in a week? In my opinion, it's the wrong question to ask, because like a lot of times I get asked all the time, hey, how many callouts do you guys make in the chat room or whatever? And I'm like, it's not about the amount of callouts, it's about the quality. If in a day is going really well, and I see 10 really good setups, I'll take all 10. If I get days not going like that good, and it's maybe 1 to 2 setups, if that, I'll take 1 to 2. It's not about like forcing yourself to trade more. More doesn't mean better. It's about taking high quality setups and making sure you're not losing money.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And I think what I wanted to add there is that it doesn't matter how many losing versus winning trades you take. You could take more winning trades than losing trades and still end up being red, because you're not managing your trades properly. Your losses are bigger than your wins. So it doesn't matter that you have more wins than losses. It comes down to risk management. And the formula that we give to our students in the chat room is to never take a loss that's higher than 1/3 of your average win. You normally manage that with stop losses. So with that in mind, you have to take 3 losing trades to mess up 1 winning trade, and you end up being green pretty much on a regular basis. Some days are obviously not as good as others. Sometimes you will end up red because it's just part of trading. Anyone that says that they're never red is lying. Yep. We probably take losses every day, but they're all controlled losses, and the risk is managed so that at the end of the day we come out on top.
Yeah, and it's funny because sometimes I see people that are like, oh, I take my profits at 20%. I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm talking about in the options world.
Yeah.
That's great. But then they're like, oh, yeah, but my stop loss is at minus 50%. So they'll hold the loss more than 20% to 30, 40, 50%. But then they take their profits right away at 20%. Like, you're literally like taking yourself in a hole, right? You either got to let your winner run more, or you got to cut your losses to like 10%. So, you got to make sure the rest of the word, makes sense.
Yeah. You want to make it easier on yourself.
Exactly. A minimum amount of money to start trading, another very common question that we get from beginners. And if you're asking that question, you're probably a beginner. My best answer to you is $0. And you're like, $0? I'm like, you gotta start with paper trading.
Yeah, with fake money, at least for 6 months. There's a book that we actually give to all of our students, and there's in that book there's stats on why so many traders are losing money in the market. There is a stat that says that 90% of traders are ending up in the red and walking away from the market with less money than when they started. However, if you implement 6 months of studying and practicing with fake money, the success numbers are much higher. And we see that firsthand in our chat room because we're very strict with telling our students not to rush. The market's not going anywhere. There's opportunities every day. There's going to be opportunities next year, but you're not going to be able to capitalize on them if you lose all your money trading when you don't know what you're doing. So just practice with fake money. We talk about this more in our free training. If you go in the link in bio, smallplayers.com/programs, there's a free masterclass. You can watch it. It's 45 minutes, and we talk more about that.
And a lot of people, they see, like, let's say you see, like, oh my god, this guy made like $2,000 on a trade, right? You're like, oh, I had to take that trade, then a trade like that's not going to happen again. Like, don't FOMO. There's always a huge winner, like almost every single day. People are like, oh my god, I missed this trade. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Like, if you just trade for a year, you'll realize that like you never miss a trade because there's always another good trade coming. And I also made a video. This was when we first started the channel about like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever it was, on why 90% of traders end up losing money. So in that video, like I think it's like a 12-minute long video on the YouTube channel, I go in more details like on why traders lose money. And another big thing people don't talk about is that 92% of the U.S. makes less than 6 figures a day. No, not a day. Sorry, over the year. So there's a strong correlation between something being hard to do and small percent of people like actually achieving it. So you understand that something that's hard to do, like trading, it's you gotta put in some time and effort. It's not just come easy.
Anything, even businesses, right? Yeah. There's so many good businesses in this country, but the stats are that 95% of businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Even going to the gym, so many people are like, oh, I'm gonna start going to the gym. You go for 2 days and then you just give up.
Yeah.
The gym is not an issue. Your effort and stuff is the issue. So.
Why do most traders give up? I feel like we just answered that.
Yeah, we just answered that one.
It's difficult, and people sort of start trading before they're ready.
Yeah.
And then they run out of money and they get absolutely terrified of the market.
You cannot skip the learning. It's like taking, let's say I'm in college and I take the class, right? Like you have a semester class. You skip directly from the first day directly to the final exam. You're just gonna fail the final exam. You gotta actually learn.
And even the other thing I always say, because it's a skill, and I think that's what people don't realize. It's not just the studying, but it's also like there's a lot of practice required. Yeah. The skill. So it's almost like if you want to be a dentist and you never practice on fake teeth, like the first day you go in and they're trying to like extract a tooth from a child. You get
nervous and everything.
You
can't,
you don't know what to do. You have to practice.
And a lot of people ask me like, how'd you see this trade like so quickly? Because I'm just so used to the patterns that I like to trade. So like I see them right away and they just come with practice. Nature. Yeah, exactly.
It takes time.
How do you know when to take profits and when to hold? I think for me it's pretty easy. Support and resistance, that's my main thing, Understand the resistance levels. That's always going to be my profit taking. The way I like to take profits is my first profit. I take half of my position out. So like usually I take 3 levels of profits. It's like my goal usually, but I take more the first time around so that like I'm safe for the rest of the trade because the first profit is the most likely to hit. And so I take half my position out. Then I have 50%. And then as my second profit hits, I'll take 30% usually, and I'll keep 20% for the last profit, and that's pretty much all free money for me to let it keep riding, and I'm not worried about it. I give it room.
And if you guys watch the morning videos that we do, we show the support and resistance level. So pretty much every time it hits a resistance level, we take profit. Yeah. So there's not much thinking. In trading, you are going to be the most successful if you try to trade like a robot. So you have support, bounce on support, you buy, break below support, you sell for a loss. Hits resistance, you sell for a profit. Just, execute it as if you were a machine. It's the only way to be successful. You can't fall into the trap of thinking like, oh, what if it keeps going up? What if this is my trade that's going to make me a millionaire?
And sometimes it will keep going up and, it sucks. Maybe you missed it, but sometimes you'll keep going up and you're still in it and you make money. Like, so many times, like, I'm like, I stopped out and then maybe you'll go back up. I'm like, whatever. But like over the long term, over like 2,000 trades, you'll be the most profitable, sticking to your rules, right? And like the couple times you're like, oh, you kept going up, I should have held it. Like it's gonna happen.
And I always tell the students in the chat room also, you can always enter again. There's nothing preventing you from trading a stock again after you just sold it. So it's almost better to just take your money off the table. And I say like, live to trade another day. You have the money, you can trade it again. Because when the market's really hot, you think, oh my God, I missed out. I could have just held it through. But there are times when it's really difficult and it goes on sometimes for a whole month, when trades are mostly just scalps. Nothing really has continued momentum. And that's how you survive those times.
Yeah. So how do you determine profit level when a coin is going up to unprecedented levels? So a coin or a stock, I guess.
Past all-time highs.
Yeah. So when it's going past all-time highs, big things to keep in mind is one tool that it depends if you're, I guess, you're day trading it or swing trading it. Big tool I like to use is Fib extension tools. KK has a great video about Fibonacci, so make sure you guys watch that for free on the YouTube channel. Another thing, also big mental levels. Like if you're trading penny stock, like $10 a big mental level. You expect some selling off that level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, Fibonacci really for crypto and
crypto,
a long-term
especially
positions.
for crypto.
We have that video, how to trade Fibonacci, on this channel. You should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the only way I know for those sort of things. And then for day trading, we do, like you said, psychological levels. So normally a quarter, half dollar, and full dollar.
Not a big deal for you guys.
Yeah, big deal.
And if you're trading like bigger, large cap stocks, like $200, $225, $250, applies exactly the same, just bigger numbers.
Oh, well, actually, also one more thing, and we talk about this in the morning videos. Time and sales is a very good resource when you're day trading actively, because you can see where walls of sellers come in, where walls of buyers come in, and it sort of helps you determine those key levels. So as you're going, you maybe you didn't plan on taking profits there, but you'll see big sellers coming in, and you'll be like, okay, I'm going to sell here.
And same thing goes with options. You can see how much volume certain contracts have, so that you'll see that hey, a certain stock has way more put contracts, people that have opened up volume than call contracts. Maybe because a lot of people are thinking it might go down, so it might be like a good indicator for you to either raise your stop loss, or maybe take profits wherever it is. So, keep in mind, pretty much use as much of the tools, indicators too, like EMAs, VWAP, use all those tools to your disposal as well. So what time frame is best for charting? 1 minute or 5 minute? For me, depends what you're doing. Like swing trades, I stick to the 1 hour, usually 4 hours in daily, weekly, monthly. If I'm day trading, I actually don't use the 1 minute anymore. I used to use the 1 minute when I was trading penny stocks, but now I trade options. My smallest time frame is 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, and usually hourly are like the main ones I use.
Yeah, for day trading penny stocks, I use the 1 minute and the 5 minute chart. Sometimes the 2 minute chart as well. It gets a little confusing for me to look at all three, so I will stick to the 1 minute and the 5 minute. Really, the larger trends, the intraday trends, I see on the 5 minute chart, and then I use the 1 minute chart once I'm in the trade to determine it. You can see quicker when the trade can run into trouble, when sellers come in, or when buyers don't come in enough. And then the other reason to use the 1 minute chart is also if you have just missed an entry on a 5 minute chart, or if a stock just keeps going and you sold it for profit and you're looking to get back in and it's really hot. So sometimes the 5 minute chart doesn't even give an entry opportunity. So the 1 minute chart helps there.
How well do charts show bear/bull momentum? I'm doing really well. I mean, I take all my trades off of charts. So if the stock is bullish or bearish, I pretty much base all my opinions on charts.
Yeah.
I never really look at fundamentals or news or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't really understand that question so much, but I guess it just asks how can you tell when there is a bullish or bearish momentum? And I think the morning videos that we record every morning are really helpful in that regard, because you can see the screen and then we talk about it. But really it just comes down to rejections of prices, rejections of resistance levels, rejections of support, how strong it is, how much volume there is in the move, what sort of candles you see, how big the body of the candle is, how big the wick is.
There's all stuff. Even is above VWAP, below VWAP.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
We have a playlist on this channel, technical analysis and day trading for beginners, so you can watch that. There's more, we can't talk about it all in this video, but you can learn more there.
How do the scanners work?
The scanners basically work. What you do is you input criteria to find stocks that fulfill that criteria, and the way we search for stocks is based on past data. So whenever there's a stock that runs 1,000% a day, it has always fulfilled these things that we look for, and we look for low float, high short interest, increased relative volume for the day, low institutional investing, etc. A lot of other things. So we input all of that in our scanner, and then the scanner will scan through all 7,000 stocks in the stock market and give us 10. And then we know these are the 10 stocks to focus on for the day. The scanner itself can't do anything for you, and that's very important for people to understand, because a lot of times people buy the scanner and they're like, okay, so I guess I just buy every stock on the scanner and I'll be fine. And that's not how it works. The only thing that the scanner does is it narrows down the
Which
stocks
stocks
for
to
you to
trade.
look at. Yeah, what to focus on today, because there's 7,000 of them. You wouldn't know where to start. So the scanner just tells you what to focus on, but then you still have to do your analysis. You still have to chart them. You still have to pick your entries, manage your risk, etc.
The scanner is really most useful if you know how to trade. You just need help, like which stocks to trade. If you don't know how to trade, the best option I think is checking out the course, join the chat room, that type of stuff. And when it comes to options, I have a video on the YouTube as well, like how I set up my watch list. And I don't personally use a scanner for options because I'm mostly trading like large cap stocks. So I usually trading around the same things that over and over again. I'll add and move around some stuff depending on what's the hot sector or whatever. But I have that video on the YouTube channel you can check out.
They're asking about increase in volume. How to see increase in
How
volume?
to
I think it's a
synchronous
long question.
volume.
I think this person is saying people in the chat room will say volume's coming in, but then they won't see the volume coming in on the chart until a minute later when it spikes up. I think the fastest way to see is using time and sales, because you start seeing
see
big
all
orders
orders.
coming in and the tape flashing green or red, and then the volume accelerates. You have to use both.
What trading indicators do you use? I have mine where it's, I use my pivot points, the volume weighted average price, and the EMA 20 on the 3 and the 5 minute. But also my larger time frames, I do the EMA 20, 50, 100, and 200, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, I keep my indicators as kind of just like a guideline. I mostly just trade based off support and resistance and patterns, like bull flags, couple handles, stuff like that.
They can confuse you a lot. I use VWAP because it's the most commonly used indicator. EMA 20 and EMA 50 for day trading, and then for long-term investing, just Fibonacci. Good old Fibonacci. I use the same thing for crypto. Fibonacci is the only thing I use for crypto.
When is the options course coming out? I have a goal to have it out before Christmas. Hopefully we stick to it.
Yeah.
Mostly comes on, I get probably adding more on me. I get kind of lazy with it.
Well, if you guys are in the chat room, you've seen me lurking into the options room. The reason why I've been trading options more is so that I can help Antonio with the option scores, because that's really his domain. But I'm like, okay, let me start trading with you guys more so we can, so I can help with the course. But yeah, we'll have it by Christmas. The way we put out the courses is we normally put the first iteration out and put it out
for a discount for the people that want to first get in right away and they get a nice discount, and then by the time we complete the course, it'll be the full price, and it'll be usually maybe a month or two later.
Yeah, and the people get to keep, obviously.
The people that get in before, they keep that price, and that's it.
So it's great, and it's useful because then the people that get in early will tell us things that they want to see and will help us build that more.
It's kind of like a beta. It's almost like a beta.
Yeah, so we'll have the first iteration by Christmas.
Yeah. Swinging options, when to average down and when to cut. When something, I guess that's more for me, but when something's still in the pattern, let's say you're trading bull flag, you got like a little bit of a, you're at the top of the bull flag, it kind of comes down to the support. You see they keep sponsoring the support. Perfect example was today, ticker symbol ASAN, broke out the bull flag, but had a bit of a retracement on the top of the bull flag, so I added more on that, pretty much, the retest of the breakout, and then goes back up. But now if something falls out of the pattern and it's like not looking the trade that I wanted anymore, I'm not gonna get stubborn and say no, I don't want to take a loss on it, let me just average down, because most likely it's gonna keep going down. So it's mostly like, is it still in the pattern, is it still like in the bullish territory, is it just a small retracement that's to be expected, then I'll average down. But if it's falling out of pattern, getting in the bearish territory, I'm just out of it.
Yeah, and when the day trading course, we have a 20-minute video about averaging down when it talks about when to do it. I personally think that a beginner should not even think about averaging down. I even myself try and avoid it, because you end up spending more money in the trade that you wanted to, and then you become more emotional and you trade worse. But basically, if a stock or an options trade goes below your stop loss, you're not averaging down. That's why it's important to have a trade plan before you get into the trade. So there should be an area on the chart where you say, if the stock goes below this level, I need to get out because it's no longer bullish.
Yeah.
And if that happens, there's no conversation about averaging down. But if it stays above that level and you say, okay, like this, maybe I got in too early, but this is actually setting up a nice bounce and I'll buy more, that's fine. That's a valid average down. So that's what it comes down to, whether the trade plan is still valid.
All right, last question. How can we invest in meta coins mentioned in videos? And I think not just meta coins, but all of the smaller altcoins that you won't find on Coinbase, Binance. I personally use something called KuCoin. It's an app, very easy to use. Yes, you can use it if you're in New York. They don't ask for your address. It's a decentralized exchange, just as much like SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, But a lot of the coins that I don't find on Sushi Swap and Pancake Swap are on Qcoin. Free to use and all that. So I get asked that question like a million times a day. But
Yeah.
Qcoin, Kucoin, and it's like an app, just like anything else. But be careful with these altcoins. They can be dangerous. But that's pretty much all the questions. If you have any more questions, leave the comments down below. Make sure you hit the like. Hopefully we can make more videos while I'm in New York. I'll be in New York. I haven't got my flight back, so hopefully we can make some other videos.
We're keeping him here. He might move here.
Yeah, I'm loving the city right now. At first I was like, I don't know if I like it, but now I'm like, oh, okay, where should I get a place in New York City? So, if you guys want to see more videos of us together, leave suggestions down below.
Yeah,
So,
no, this is great.
Oh yeah, it was
Fun.
all fun. Finally making some videos together. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you trade with us in the chat room, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll keep killing it, keep making money. And
that's it. That's all I want to say. Let's go get dinner. We're starving.
Finally, yes, I'm dying. Okay, we'll see you guys. And my usual, peace.